Meanwhile, NBA free agency begins at 6 p.m. Eastern today. Free agents can agree to deals with new teams. One big star made a decision yesterday, though. LeBron James opted into the last year of his contract for $52.6 million. The 40-year-old is entering a record-setting 23rd season. LeBron not sure if this will be it or if he'll keep playing. However, his agent, Rich Paul, says that LBJ wants every season to count. With that, we bring in our senior NBA insider, Charania, as well as our NBA analyst, Kendrick Perkins. And Shams, I want to start with you. LeBron opting in, Dorian Finney-Smith opting out of LA. Lakers, they need to address the center position. What more can you tell us ahead of free agency?
LeBron James and the Lakers both have obligations. For the Lakers, their priority is simple. It's finding a center. Rob Pelinka, their president, has been very adamant since last season into the offseason. We have to go find that big. And so what we have now in the marketplace, guys like Brook Lopez, Al Horford, Deandre Ayton just hit the market as well. Clint Capella. These are all players that the Lakers will start to look into, set meetings with, but also the future of Dorian Finney-Smith. Very cloudy. He opted out of his $15.4 million player option. He will be testing free agency. As far as LeBron James is concerned, he's going to monitor every move he makes. Clearly, he wants to see, does this team have a championship quality roster available and ready when he is ready to play his 23rd record season. But he knows the Lakers are prioritizing the future. They're prioritizing Luka Doncic and building the team around that. And he's comfortable. He's cognizant of that. But how does that fit with his mindset of competing for a championship?
And Perk, you just heard it right there. Deandre Ayton, he just hit the market with center as a big need for this Lakers team. How much of a fit could Deandre Ayton be for the Lakers?
Well, he's what they need and what they want when it comes down to being a lob threat at the basket, an athletic big, a dynamic roller at times. We know he's a pick and pop type guy. I think he's the best available center that's out there. I don't really see Brook Lopez fitting for what they're trying to do. I know he can space the floor. Clint Capella, I don't know how much he have in the tank. I know DeAndre Ayton is scratching or knocking at the door, shall I say, of his prime. But I will say this. DeAndre Ayton has some things that he needs to clean up. This is now two organizations, when you look at the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers, former #1 overall pick. And the word is right now around the league is that, you know, a diva/cancer. The Portland Trail Blazers were happy as hell to move on from him. So he needs to address some of his off-the-court things, address himself as a professional. But I think the Lakers and him will be a nice marriage. And I think him being under the wing of LeBron James would do just good for him in his career.
All right, so let's stay in the West right now and shift our attention to the Rock. Shams, you reported earlier that Jabari Smith Jr. plans to sign a 5-year, $122 million extension. This is a guy that was the 3rd pick in the 2022 draft and has become a key member of Houston's young core. Now, he'll be playing with a key veteran in Kevin Durant. It doesn't take a genius to realize that the Rockets are loading up on their roster. So, Shams, what other moves do you anticipate Houston to make?
So Jabari Smith, the Rockets kept out of any conversation around Kevin Durant when they were going through those negotiations. They rejected any time the Suns asked for Jabari Smith Jr. But what that meant is they traded Jalen Green and they traded Dillon Brooks. So that position of that 3-and-D wing defender, I'm told that is the Rockets' priority going into free agency starting tonight, is finding that player that can essentially sub in and replace him. But they've conducted a lot of business. They've extended Steven Adams, Ime Udoka, Jabari Smith Jr. They've retained all of their own free agents, including Fred VanVleet, and yes, made that blockbuster Kevin Durant acquisition. I do think the Rockets are very motivated. They have their exceptions. They have some flexibility to make even more additions tonight and this week.
Perk, I know you like your metaphors. The Rockets, they're letting everybody know what time it is, like someone forgot their watch. So with the moves that they've made, is it time to be a championship contender?
They are a championship contender, and they are on the Oklahoma City asses like back pockets. To me, when you look at the favorites around, not just in the Western Conference, but around the NBA, it's Oklahoma City, and then it's the Houston Rockets. Right now, currently constructed. You look at Alfred Sengun, who I believe is Baby Jokic, a top 10 center in the league. You re-sign Jabari Smith, a guy that has the capability of being versatile, playing, defensively, guarding 1 through 5, a pick and pop guy. You have Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, who are two of the elite wing defenders. I believe in 2 years, maybe 3, Amen Thompson might be in the conversation or might be the best two-way player in the game. And then you fill the void that you've been lacking, a closer, a guy that provides three-point shooting, and you bring in Kevin Durant in the trade. Pair him alongside Fred VanVleet with their leadership, and you're looking at the Houston Rockets right now. I don't know no other team right now that's winning free agency like they are.
You can always count on Perk for some crazy metaphors. It's always going to make me laugh. Let's go to another contender in the West, keeping key players. Shams, you reported that the Timberwolves are giving Julius Randle a 3-year, $100 million contract and center Naz Reid a 5-year, $125 million deal. Randle was a key piece in the Karl Anthony Towns trade last summer. So, Shams, with the Timberwolves re-signing 2 of their bigs in Julius Randle and Naz Reid, what room does Minnesota have to make additional offseason moves?
So, Mina, just a little while ago, I reported the Timberwolves also reached an agreement intention to sign back Joe Ingles for his 12th NBA season. The Timberwolves and Ingles representative Mark Ballsino of Priority Sports reached that 1-year, $3.6 million deal today. So that gives them additional veteran wing presence there. But aside from that, you're looking at guard help and an extra big. They don't have a ton of money to play with right now. They're already in the second apron. Likely they will be losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a two-way stalwart. He is not expected to be back in Minnesota. So this team is in the second apron. But again, how much can you really spend when you're there? They are committed, though. Julius Randle now. You still have Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. That is really the core of this team. They're going to make some more bench adjustments as well.
And so how much can continuity push them closer to a finals appearance? Or has this Timberwolves team plateaued?
No, their ceiling is still there, even with this squad right here. But, you look at Anthony Edwards, and because, he's had so much success at a young age, you think, oh, they got to make a big move. No, Anthony Edwards just got to continue to get better, and he will. We're going to continue to see the growth of Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle for us, their chemistry. We know Naz Reid, he's going to continue to get better. They still have Jaden McDaniels, who's young. He's still scratching the surface and haven't even started knocking at the door of his prime. And when you look at some of the rookies that they drafted last draft, Dillingham, right? You expect him now to come in and be able to contribute and give some minutes. So any team that has Anthony Edwards as their leader, a guy that after they lost in the Western Conference Finals said, no one is going to outwork me, that's one person that I would never doubt. I still just believe that they're 1 year away from ultimately getting over that hump, and it's solely because waiting on the development of their young guys.
Yeah, the offseason in the NBA, but so much happening in the NBA right now. NBA free agency special starts tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Shams, Perk, thank you so much for the insight.
NBA free agency is tipping off tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, and LeBron James will be watching closely. This weekend, he opted into the final year of his Lakers contract for $52.6 million. He hasn't said if this is his final year or not, but his agent did say LeBron wants to win championships now and will be watching what the Lakers do in free agency closely. NBA reporter Dave McMenamin is here with more. Dave, what went into LeBron's decision to exercise this $52.6 million player option?
Well, Scooby, first of all, as I was told from a source close to LeBron James, when there's $50 million on the table, you take it. So certainly that was part of the motivating factor here. Also, LeBron, throughout his career, has never unfulfilled a contract that he signed. And so this would stay in line with that. He's never been traded. He's never asked out of a contract before. Now, the statement from Rich Paul that he gave to Charania makes you wonder if this could be the first time where we see him ask out of a contract and sort of asking for a trade in order to fulfill his duties for another franchise. Listen, the timing of this statement makes it more complicated if that was to occur. It doesn't mean that if LeBron James hit the open market that some other team would try to find a package that would entice the Lakers to trade him there. Obviously, LeBron has a no-trade clause, so he would have to approve of the team he would be going to. But I think if this was the final outcome here, was LeBron going elsewhere, this would have been put in motion far earlier than yesterday with this statement, because teams had started to already, maneuver towards filling their roster for next season prior to this statement. And so, things remain to be seen. We're going to see what the Lakers do when it comes to free agency to try to improve this team. And we'll see if we don't get any more statements like that. You just get a happy camper, LeBron James playing for what would be his longest stint consecutively with any franchise if he plays for the Lakers next season.
Yeah, a lot of rumors circulating right now, but for everybody out in L.A., just relax for a little bit. It seems like a move is not going to happen anytime soon. But outside of LeBron, what decisions do the Lakers have to make going forward?
Yeah, I mean, perhaps the more impactful decision made by a Lakers player yesterday was Dorian Finney-Smith opting out of his $15.4 million contract for next season. I'm told from a source close to Dorian Finney-Smith that he's seeking a multi-year pact here. He's 32 years old. He's coming off ankle surgery. He has 5 children. Stability is very important to him at this stage of his life and his career. And if he was to leave, now I'm told from the Lakers' plan A would be to figure out a way to keep Finney-Smith. But if he was to leave, the Lakers open up the full mid-level exception, which is worth about $14 million that they can use to attract a free agent. It also opens up the biannual exception worth about $5 million. So you could be talking about, yes, you lose Finney-Smith, but maybe enough money to sign 3 guys on the open market. Center remains a priority for the Lakers, and some of the names that the Lakers have interest in: Brook Lopez of the Milwaukee Bucks, Clint Capella of the Atlanta Hawks, Al Horford of the Boston Celtics, and a new name that was added to that list yesterday when Deandre Ayton reached a buyout agreement with the Portland Trail Blazers. You're talking about a guy a few years ago averaged 15-plus points in the playoffs on 60% shooting, the only guy in playoff history to average those numbers in that amount of games as he led or was part of that Suns team that went to the finals. There are going to be some options at big man for the Lakers.
A lot of different paths that the Lakers can take over here. And once again, free agency tips off tonight at 6 p.m. Dave, thank you.
NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins here with us now to weigh in. And Perk, LeBron James wants to compete for a championship in year 23. What moves can the Lakers make in order to get him there?
Well, not the moves that they're making right now. Apparently, it look like they're about to lose Finney-Smith, which is not good. He was their best 3-and-D guy, but they're on the market for a center. I feel like Brook Lopez doesn't fit what they're looking for because you have to build around Luka. You need a dynamic roller. You need a big that's going to be a live threat at the basket. And to me, the best available big is Deandre Ayton, who hit the market yesterday. You go get a young guy like that. You put him in the locker room around a guy like LeBron James that can also teach him how to be a professional. This is his 3rd team now once he gets signed to anybody, whether it's the Lakers or whomever, as the former number 1 pick. Something is going wrong there. So he has to have accountability. But if I'm Lakers, I'm definitely going to get Deandre Ayton. I think he's the best available center that's out there.
Yeah, the Lakers definitely have their work cut out for them. Staying in L.A. with the Clippers, our Charania reported on Sunday that James Harden intends to re-sign with the Clippers on a 2-year, $81.5 million contract. And the Clippers, they show flashes of potential before being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by Denver in Game 7. What's your confidence level that the Clippers, they can be legit contenders in the West come next season?
Well, Mina, that comes down to the health of Kawhi Leonard. Obviously you get back James Harden. I thought James Harden had an excellent regular season last year. But again, Kawhi Leonard is the guy that's going to take that team over the hump. Can he come into the season fully healthy, right? Can he come in and develop the proper chemistry that they need? We saw flashes of it last postseason. And can Norman Powell, right, can he continue to take that leap and keep going forward? We see that they're just in the talks with, I guess, basically getting the deal done with Nicholas Batum, who I believe is a valuable piece for the Clippers as well. They're going to be right in the middle of the pack again, a team that's going to make the playoffs, a team that could be a dark horse to upset a lot of teams, and wouldn't be surprised if they make the conference finals. But with this roster currently constructed, that's all I could give them.
Yeah, you made a really great point right there. With Kawhi Leonard healthy, the Clippers look totally different. Definitely a contender in the West. Perk, thanks so much for the answer.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA on the ESPN.